Well, the ANC's election campaign may be in full swing, but the party is riddled with internal squabbles. There have been protests over unpaid salaries, and now some members are disputing the candidate list for the municipal elections. Senior reporter Siphamandla Goge was at Luthuli House earlier. He joins us with the latest news. Okay, hi there, Sipa. So, what is the ANC plan for the elections? Are they conceding there might be a possibility of coalitions? What's their game plan?
Well, I guess the issue of coalitions really is not their own making. They've got no choice. It's up to the voters. The ANC, like many other political parties, they are saying they are going for the total outright majority. That is their target. They say for now they are not thinking about any coalitions or any working relationships. However, they say if and when that time comes, they will have to think who to work with. They are open to working with all political parties, but they are saying for now their campaign is focusing on going all out to reclaim lost ground and ensure that they govern with a majority. Their head of elections, Siphamandla, addressed the media today saying they will be launching their campaign on the 27th of September in Tshwane, the capital city, which they lost, by the way. They are saying they are going back to the city they lost because they want to reclaim that lost ground and ensure that they reclaim the capital city. But in terms of sharing power for now, they say, well, their plan is to go all out and get decisive victory. After that, if the situation doesn't allow, then they will be open to working with other political parties. Let's take a listen to Siphamandla.
This year, 2021, the ANC will be going back to communities to ask for the renewal of its democratic mandate in order to continue with the task of making our communities safer and even much better. Our goal is to achieve decisive majority and decisive victory for the African National Congress. Our 2021 local government elections program is firmly on track and in full swing. Our campaign for local government has long begun. The launch of the Manifesto must not be misunderstood to the launch of the campaign. Our campaign began when we went to communities and asked them to elect representatives, to endorse their own representatives, a matter in the public domain that has become a sore point in some of the communities and also in some among us who seek to undermine those particular processes within the African National Congress and society as a whole. The ANC chose the path of engaging with communities in the selection of public representatives. We are satisfied that all our processes are proceeding according to schedule.
Well, that message seems somewhat at odds with what we've heard, just for one example, from the northwest area of Lichtenburg, where people there, ANC supporters, ANC members, are saying, well, actually, our candidate is not on the list, that the person that we wanted is not on the list. Other allegations through protests yesterday that the list is being rigged. We know that Jesse Duarte summoned the provincial secretaries to Luthuli House this week to start going through those lists to iron out any potential problems. I'm just wondering how difficult that process is going to be, and what exactly is the deadline to finalise that list?
Well, the irony of it all is that when Siphamandla was making that statement outside Luthuli House, there were protesters all the way from Lephalale in Limpopo and Waterberg. Others were from Emalahleni in Mpumalanga, and some were from the Gauteng province. We are talking about Tshwane and Greater Johannesburg region. So various branches and wards of the ANC were protesting outside Luthuli House. We saw that yesterday. It's a continuation of those allegations that they've been complaining about. They allege that processes were rigged, their own preferred candidates were removed, and then other people that were not voted for by the community members were then brought in. So the message of the ANC is very contradictory here in terms of what happens moving forward in dealing with these disputes. You know, provincial secretaries were at Luthuli House. They will be there up until tomorrow to finalize the issue of disputes and the list. According to the governing party, their own deadline is the 21st of September, where they need to have dealt with all the issues and the disputes, and they polish their candidate list so that they can meet the deadline to register their candidates after they've been thrown that lifeline by the IEC following a Concord order. So basically the ANC is racing against time to try and deal with the issue of this list deadline. But Fikile Mbalula says all those disputes that they will not be able to solve before the local government elections on the 1st of November, they will have to defer those disputes, meaning that after the elections we could see some candidates who would have been elected being asked to resign or being withdrawn if it is found that they were not favored by committee members. Let's take a listen to Fikile Mbalula.
Before you are announced as a candidate of the ANC, you undergo a rigorous process of interviews. Because in the past, we have just said, you are number one on the list, become a mayor. It does not mean that if you are number one on the list, tomorrow you'll become a mayor. You will be subjected, because we have learned from experience. We have put people there who, some of them, we have found that they are challenged in terms of their capabilities. They are our members. We put them there as mayors in different municipalities. In the recent past, we have realized that is not going to work. Local government requires skilled people with capacity to basically run local government.
So we've got that looming deadline for the list, unhappiness over the list, allegations of rigging. But at the same time, we've got ANC staff workers who are waiting for their salaries. Some have been paid, but some real unhappiness there. And this is surely a very intense period to be an ANC staffer. So you really need your people on board. What is the latest around the staff dispute?
Well, the ANC leadership, they are trying to downplay this issue of, salary payments. They are saying do not confuse HR issues and the elections. They are saying their machinery when it comes to campaigning is ready to hit the ground running, according to Fikile Mbalula. In fact, he said, well, our campaign is in full swing. We are on the ground. We've been on the ground. When it comes to the issue of salary payments, they are saying the national leadership of the ANC is dealing with that matter. They are committed into honoring their financial commitments. They are of the view that this will not hamper their election campaign, but there is no way that cannot happen, because you need your staff members to be in high spirits to work for you during your election campaign. But for now, the update is that they say they are dealing with the matter. They are committed in ensuring that salaries are paid moving forward.
Thank you very much. Senior reporter Siphamandla Goge.